Hello my Christmas friends and welcome back to the best Christmas yet. It is week 3 of Christmas in July and we have got some fantastic printables this week to help you to get organized with 3 of the major planning portions of our Christmas planning, and that is the Christmas food. So the first section in this week's printables, planner printables, is the Eat, Drink and Be Merry section, or the food section. Now I have just mounted this the free printable onto some silver mirror board, added the sticker and some diamantes just to jazz it up a little bit, and I think it's quite sweet. There's Mrs. Claus baking some cookies with a little elf helping her out there. I love that. Again, I've just matted some scraps of scrapbooking paper and washi tape and paper, and then slipped in a little pocket here onto this piece of planner paper from an old Cath Kidston planner, and I've put in my gingerbread recipe here, gingerbread man recipe there. So I'm not going to put that back in now. The first page I've got here is Christmas baking. There were loads of things that people like to bake around the Christmas period, from mince pies to gingerbread cookies to gingerbread houses. There were loads of Christmas treats and bakes and things that people like to make. You can do your planning here. Remember, loads of those items are freezable and you can make them ahead. So this page is going to be invaluable to you. Remember, you can print out more than one page if you want to, if you've got loads and loads of things to bake or make. Here is the resources page, so the items that you want to bake, the website address, the date that you're going to make it, and then whether or not you've made it. You could even write, add a little snowflake in the corner to say that you've frozen that item. You could just put pictures here if you wanted to, just to get some inspiration, kind of like a little mood board or a Pinterest mood board, which is a great idea as well. Next, we've got the December meal plan. Now, in December, there are so many nights when things are happening, like you're going out for a play or a panto, you're going ice skating or something's going on. It's really good to have a December menu plan so that you can make sure that not only are you keeping your costs down if you're eating out that night, so you don't go ahead and buy groceries for that evening, but also it just gives you an overview and gives you a bit more of an idea of what is doing for dinner in December. Next, I've got my Christmas pantry inventory. Now, if you've been collecting if you've been buying items each week for your Christmas pantry to spread the cost, like non-perishable items, you can write down each one of those here. Each week that you buy something, write down you've bought, a couple of cartons of custard, or you've bought some biscuits or crackers, anything like that. Write that down here so that you know what you've got in your Christmas cupboard, so that you don't either buy more or, or so that you can remember what you've bought and where it is stashed. Write down here where your Christmas cupboard is or where your Christmas pantry items are kept so that you don't find them come February. Next, I've got the Christmas Eve menu plan. This is just to get some ideas, perhaps, you might want to jot down things that you might like to try, or recipes, or anything like that. Just get your ideas down here. And the same for your Christmas Day menu plan. I love this. Christmas Day, Father Christmas is having a sleep after all his hard work. Love that. Then I've got a page here for Christmas Day lunch timings. Do you know what? So many people fall short and Christmas dinner or lunch is served an hour or two late because, they didn't have a plan as to how long things were going to take them, when they should put the carrots on or what have you. Jot your timings down here so that you can get a good idea of when what goes in the oven so that everything can be served at the same time. This is probably one of my favorite pages. Love your leftovers. There is invariably going to be leftover turkey and leftover vegetables. What are you planning to do with those items? Make a plan and write it down here so that you are prepared. And then lastly, in this section, we have a master shopping list for food. This, you will notice, is the same page as the one that was in the list section. Some people would like to keep it here. Some people would like to keep it in the front of their file. It's up to you where you keep it. Now I'm going to give you some top tips for your Christmas food preparations. Christmas Eve plans and Christmas Day plans. So we're really working on the crux of things today. I've got some fantastic printables for you. I've got some great tips coming up in the middle of the video about food and Christmas feasting and how you can get ahead, how you can save some money, how you can save your sanity when it comes to the prep of the Christmas food. And we're also going to be working on all the little bits and pieces that go with Christmas Eve and Christmas Day to make it extra special and magical. So let's get into today's video. While we're on the subject of food, there are some great things that you can do to not only save money, but save yourself some time and save your sanity during the Christmas period. Catering is a huge portion of the Christmas preparations, and there are so many things you can do to get ahead, to get organized, to save money, and to still feed your family well and make things feel special. So I've got a few tips here for you. Number one, test out Christmas recipes during the year. You know, I did a video on this yesterday actually. Most people do a roast dinner at least once a week. You've got lots of opportunities there to try out a new side dish or a new dinner recipe for the main dish, like the meat, or even vegetarian dishes if you're vegetarian. You've got lots of opportunities there to try out some new recipes. Maybe try out a different pudding, see if that works. Maybe a different kind of trifle. You know, we have the old traditional recipes that we usually use, but every year in the Christmas magazines that we buy, there are loads and loads of lovely new ideas. Most of us have got a Christmas menu book on our bookshelves or have access to one at the library or from charity shops. Get one of those, start working your way through. See if there are some recipes that you'd like to try them throughout the year. I'm sure your family won't mind being guinea pigs. And then if the recipe is fantastic, make sure that you slip it into your Christmas planning file under the food section. Or you can put it into a dedicated Christmas recipe file, and at least then you've got more of an idea of whether the recipes work for you, what you like, what you don't like. So when it comes to menu planning, you don't have to have the anxiety of, should I try this new recipe? Will everyone like it? I don't want to waste my money on the ingredients. I don't want to waste my time and have it be a flop. That's tip number one. Tip number two, make a plan to use foods in your freezer and your pantry throughout November and, you know, between early to mid-December, so that you've got space for all your Christmas goodies. Now, I'm sure most of us have no idea what is in our pantry or what is in our freezer. There are very few people who keep up with a specific pantry inventory or freezer inventory. And to save money coming up towards Christmas, and also to make way for the Christmas foods, I like to use up all the bits and bobs that are in my freezer. Makes for some interesting meals, let me tell you. But using up all of the things that I have already in means that I'm spending less on groceries because I'm just buying supplemental items. And also I'm making space for all those Christmas goodies that I intend to buy or make or freeze ahead. That's number two. Number three, investigate making your own canapes. You know, around Christmas time and New Year, the shops bring out all these little boxes, like 6 little canapes, I don't know, 6 little buns with little burgers in them, or Indian selections of samosas and spring rolls and things like that. But these items are really expensive for what they are. There are tons of really good recipes and really good canapes that you can make ahead and freeze, or that don't take a lot of work to do on the day. Or perhaps if we're talking about Christmas Eve, if you have a little canapé party on Christmas Eve, there's loads of things you can do that don't take up a lot of time, and they make more for the same amount of money that you would have spent buying a box of these selections that come frozen in the grocery store. So you can make things like sausage rolls, you can make little brie and camembert parcels, you can make cheese straws. I've got a few written down here actually. You can make mini turkey meatballs and do them in a barbecue sauce or a cranberry sauce. That can be done in the slow cooker. I've done that before. You can do marinated chicken wings, and these can all be frozen ahead, so that all you have to do is bake them in the oven or pop them in the slow cooker. I would endeavour to put some really good recipes onto the blog so that you can get some ideas about what you can make ahead. There are other quick and easy canapes that can be made that don't take a lot of time, and they're actually not very expensive at all. You can make things like salmon pate. You can make bruschetta, which is lovely. Everyone loves a bruschetta, and you can top them with different things. You can make cream cheese, salmon and dill on little slices of rye bread. You can make crudités with a lovely dip. Even making your own cheese board from scratch rather than buying one of those pre-made ones where you only get such a little bit of cheese. You can make these up for much less than it costs to buy these fancy canapes. Yes, it may mean that it takes a little bit of extra time, but remember, our main aim here is to make sure that we have loads of things prepped to save us time, save us money. Tip number 4. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but it usually works out cheaper to buy an entire turkey than it is to buy just a turkey crown. It's cheaper per kg because they have to do something to that turkey crown. They have to remove the other pieces, and therefore it involves labor, and therefore it's more expensive per kilogram. If you buy an entire turkey, it's cheaper than buying a turkey crown, and you actually get more out of it. For the simple reason being is that a turkey crown is literally just the top breast section. The meat tends to be drier, but it's easy to work with. However, if you buy an entire turkey, you then can save money on meals later because you've got loads of leftovers that you can use in other recipes. Tip number 5. You've got turkey leftovers coming out of your ears and you have no idea what to do with it. So you decide to eat turkey for the next week running and make it into every kind of turkey recipe conceivable, and you absolutely are sick and tired of turkey by the end of it. Well, you don't have to use the turkey all at once and all in the next few days. If you have leftover turkey, you can freeze it for another time. The best thing to do is to prepare before you freeze it. So in other words, take all the meat off the bones. Take the meat off the bones and use the carcass of the turkey to make stock that you can then freeze for casseroles and soups. Take the turkey meat off the bones, put it into separate Ziploc bags, label them well, and you can freeze that meat and use it for other things. It comes in really handy if you want to make something like a turkey stroganoff, or if you want to make sandwiches, toasted sandwiches. You can use it in Subway rolls, you can use it in special fried rice, you can use it in stir fries, curries, pies even. There's so many things you can do with it, and most people actually waste their leftover turkey because they can't face eating it for a week in a row. You don't have to. Pull that meat off the bones and freeze it for later. And then you've got some meals when January is a very, very long month and you've got meat in the freezer waiting for you to use up. Those are your tips for the food section. Let's get on to Christmas Eve. Next section in this week's planning pages is Christmas Eve. I love this image. It is so beautiful. Just everything about just the candy cane stripe pages, and this lady with all the presents and her little eye winking out between all these presents, and the diamantes and the little gifts. I love this image so much. She is just so cute with that hat and gloves. Again, I've just mounted some bits and pieces onto a piece of scrapbook paper. The first page in this section is your Christmas Eve box. Guys, there are things that you will have in your Christmas Eve box that are used each and every single year. In my Christmas Eve box, just off the top of my head, a few things that we have is an elf hat that we got at Lapland UK. We have Father Christmas's cookies plate that we bring out every year. We have the book The Night Before Christmas. We have the Snowman DVD. We have some popcorn boxes that I put in there every year with some popcorn to pop for that evening. Those are all things that we use every year. And so you might want to just buy a few little bits just to complement that, like new pajamas, for instance, or slippers, and then bring out the other traditional bits that you put in your Christmas Eve box and wrap it nicely or put cellophane on it. But just get an idea here of what you've got, what you need to get, so that these items don't fall through the cracks when you're planning for Christmas. Next, this is going to sound strange because I know this section is called Christmas Eve, but there are things that you can do on December 23rd to help you to get organized for December 24th. On December 23rd, I cook as much of my veg for Christmas Day as I can. Obviously not my roast potatoes, but I can parboil my roast potatoes on the 23rd. and leave them in the fridge ready to put them in the oven on Christmas Day. Because the 24th we like to get up to all sorts of activities and do fun stuff like gingerbread house decorating, etc. So the 23rd of December, if you're organized enough, can really be your friend to help you to be organized for the 24th and for the 25th of December. Here's your list here of things you want to get done on the 24th of December, the list number, the thing to do, delegate it to, because remember, this is also our Christmas. We want to have a good time as well, not just our family. So we need to delegate some tasks, when the task is due, what time it, as in what time it needs to be done by, or if it needs to be done in the morning, or if you need to pick up your things you've ordered from Morrison's, like the turkey and things like that, what time that's due to be done, and whether or not it's been done. Believe me, these lists save your sanity on those few days before Christmas. And here's your Christmas Eve plans. Now, these are just rough ideas. I mean, for now, I like to get very specific when it comes closer to it. But what are you going to have for breakfast on Christmas Eve? Do you have your North Pole breakfast on Christmas Eve morning? So write those things down here. The morning's activities, things that you want to get up to, what you're doing for lunch that day, whether you're going out for lunch or if you're going to go for some people like to go for a ramble in the morning or go ice skating or something, come back or have lunch out maybe, and then come back and then, do some quiet activities in the afternoon. You might want to, you consider your dinner what you're going to have on Christmas Eve. We like to have canapes and cheese boards and nibbles and drinks. And then what activities and traditions you get up to on Christmas Eve? Do you look for the NORAD tracker and see if you can see Santa flying past your house? What do you do on Christmas Eve? Write those things down so that you don't forget something, and also so that you've got more of an idea of how things can go before time runs away with you and it's bedtime and you still haven't read the night before Christmas, you haven't hung the stockings, that kind of thing. Jot it all down, my friends. And here's Christmas Eve groceries. Some people like to get their non-perishable things on Christmas Eve for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That's up to you, but here's a list that you can use to write those down. And the next section is Christmas Day. I love this picture again. I mean, I love all of these pictures. That's why I've used them this year. But I really just love this, that she's just, holding a mini Christmas tree. She's dressed up. She's got a little apron on, so it looks like she's been in the kitchen cooking. And she's got a bauble in this hand, or a decoration in this hand. It looks like the quintessential mum on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, trying to get everything done. I love it. Merry Christmas! I've mounted it on a doily, on a paper doily, and just got this again from the Cartabella. These items from the Cartabella Christmas Market page. Christmas Market scrapbooking kit. Christmas Day, the order of the day. So are you going to wake up at a certain time? Do you guys have Bucks Fizz in the morning? Do you open some presents before family and relatives arrive? And then go for a walk? What is the order of the day for Christmas Day? Order of the day is not just for weddings, it is also for Christmas Day, and it helps you to have a more enjoyable Christmas Day because you've got a sort of idea of how things are going to go. So you can write things on here like lunch is due at 3 o'clock, but at 10 o'clock you're going to serve some nibbles or whatever. This is for you to plan out your day on Christmas Day. Equally, this might be useful to help other family members to know what's coming. And here you can go into the nitty-gritty, what you're serving for breakfast, the morning activities, what you want to get up to, what you want to do, what you want to watch on telly, because sometimes there's things that are on telly that are not to be missed. So you can write down the rest of your plans here. And on these pages, it's the same as the one on Christmas Eve. It's just for Christmas Day. Here's your to-do list for December the 25th. And, don't forget to delegate. And then your Christmas Day groceries. I know that you're not going to be shopping on Christmas Day, but you might like to keep separate lists of what you need to have and what food you need to have in for each one of these days. That's the Planner Printables for this week. Thank you so much for watching this video, my lovelies. I really appreciate all your support, and I'm so glad that these videos are so helpful to you and that people are enjoying the free printables on the blog. If you haven't seen week 1 and 2, I'll leave those in the description box below so you can go back and watch them and grab your free printables. If you've liked this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything else going on here at The Best Christmas Yet. We're going to be having some cooking videos, some baking ahead videos. I'm going to try out some Christmas recipes of my own and test them out on my family. And also, we've got the last week of our Christmas planning coming up where we're going to be doing things like Elf on the Shelf, we're going to be doing Christmas traditions and loads more. So until next time, keep calm and be merry.